Morning, guys. Okay, so today we're gonna do something a little bit different. It's kind of like a why would you buy this type of thing, because it's so expensive. We are gonna be reviewing these two. The Dior Airflash, and this is the Diorskin Forever Undercover Concealer. Now, this has made the rounds on YouTube. We all know this. Everybody uses it. And I haven't really heard anything too negative about this. It's pretty much all just, singing hallelujah praises to the Lords for this foundation. It's $62. Now, there are definitely more expensive foundations out there than this one. I mean, like the La Mer foundation is well over $100. There's a La Prairie foundation that's over $200. So when you think about it, $62 isn't that ridiculous. But for the average person that's buying makeup like you or me, this is a little bit out there. Like the $30 to $40 range is kind of pushing it. 62, you're like, whoa, what does this thing do? It better make my skin look like I was literally born yesterday and I have baby face. Like that's what it should do, right? For that amount of money. So the thing with this is that, like, every beauty YouTuber rants and raves about it. Oh, my skin looks like porcelain. It looks, I look like a mannequin. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And the only negatives I've ever really heard about this is that it's messy. Like, it goes everywhere. So I've watched enough of those YouTube videos to know that I'm not going to spray this directly on my face. I'm going to spray it on my beauty blender and then go from there. But the other thing I have to imagine as a negative just right off the bat is that you cannot travel with this. If this is your all-time, hands down, holy grail product, can't live without it foundation, you better get used to traveling without it because it's aerosol. You can't take this on a plane. It's much easier to travel with your favorite foundation that's in a pump, because you can buy a regulation size bottle that's allowed on airplanes and you can pump it in there and take it with you and you're good to go. You're using a foundation that you know works for you while you're wherever you're gallivanting to. This you can't do that with. I guess you could try to spray this into something, but I feel like that would wind up being a bit of a disaster, I feel like. So, and the other thing I have to think is, I haven't heard anyone say it, but I was thinking about it, and I don't know if it's a problem, but I feel like it could be. It's a $62 foundation. I'm gonna say that a lot in this video. And when you have hairspray and, like, you can hear, I shook it up too much. There's a ball in here, right? So it's an aerosol can, so it has pressurized air in here. Like if you've got a hairspray and you're getting towards the end of it, or even like a bottle of whipped cream, it's the same thing. You run out of compressed air before you run out of product, right? So, like, how many times have we had a hairspray that's aerosol and you get down to the bottom of it and it's not spraying anymore, but you can hear that there's some leftover product in there, but you can't get to it, right? You wind up losing the compressed air before you actually get to the bottom of the whipped cream. So I have to imagine the same thing's probably going to happen with this. Now, it may not be a ton of product, but maybe it's enough to at least do your face one or two more times. And with a $62 product like that, I feel like you're wasting a lot of foundation just with that. I don't mean to, like, point out all the negatives, but I'm just, like, trying to justify why it would be $62. So without further ado, now that I'm done complaining, we're gonna jump right into trying this on, and the concealer as well, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Okay, so first things first, I picked mine up in the color 201. They're numbers, they don't have actual names, it's just numbers. So hopefully this is gonna match me, and even if it doesn't, I'm still gonna wear it. And you get 2.3 fluid ounces in the can. Now, I do have tablet here since I'm using my phone. The claims on this is that it says, get a runway ready look with this innovative mist foundation inspired by the airbrushing techniques used backstage at fashion shows. The unique microdiffusion system delivers a fine mist of foundation to provide a soft velvety complexion. Customize your coverage by choosing to apply straight from the can for a lighter finish, or with the kabuki brush for fuller coverage. Mother of pearl pigments even skin tone and diminish the appearance of skin irregularities and fine lines, leaving your skin glowing with optimal radiance. Yeah, so that's basically it. And then it tells you how to use it. Shake well before using, extend arm straight out and bend at elbow 90 degrees. It's very specific directions. Close your eyes. I would assume close your mouth is probably one of them too. You don't want to spray foundation in your mouth. In one quick continuous motion, spray a layer of foundation over the face in the shape of a Z. Use a headband or tissues to protect clothing as needed. See, like, I'm already like, this is too much work for me. Or spray foundation onto a kabuki brush and buff into face for fuller coverage. Now, they're saying to use a kabuki brush. Everybody that I've watched use this has used a beauty sponge to blend it in, which is what I'm gonna do. So that's the claims on that. I'm gonna read you the claims and all this stuff on the concealer once we get to it, but here we go. Yeah, having to do all of that. Close your eyes, close your mouth, cover your head, basically. Cover everything around you, protect yourself. Like that, I feel like those shouldn't be directions for a foundation. That's just my personal opinion. What do I know? Like for your average person. I feel like that's a lot of work just to put foundation on. So let's see what happens here. I'm afraid. So we've got some product on there, and that did go everywhere. It's on everything already. Great. So here we go. Well, I did a good job color matching because this looks pretty close. I mean, it looks really nice, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, and it looks like the sponge is not absorbing a lot of product at all. All right, I am gonna try spraying this directly on my face. I'm afraid. No, I can't do it. I can't, I'm afraid. I can't do it. I'd rather just, see, look at my finger. It's just like covered in it. Get off, that's a waste of product. I mean, it is very pretty. It's very pretty, and it's a very nice color. I'm getting to be a professional in matching myself online. Oh, and by the way, I did moisturize and prime with the normal primer I always use, which is the Dr. Brandt luminizing, pore minimizing, what's it called? Primer. So my skin was all prepped and ready to go before I even did this. Okay, here's what my very first impressions are of this. It is beautiful. It's offering me full coverage. It's giving me full coverage. Oh, I don't like spraying this. I don't like it. It's giving me full coverage, but with a really beautiful finish to it. I would say this is like a skin-like sort of satiny finish. It's not matte, it's not dewy. It's like right in the middle. I mean, okay, I'm getting this all up in my hair. I probably should have pulled my hair back. It is really pretty. I'm not gonna put more than this on because I think that this is giving me complete full coverage. It is very beautiful, it really is, but to be 100% honest with you, I don't think that this is any more beautiful than my Lancome foundation, which is about $10 cheaper. And I don't think this is any nicer than like my NYX Total Control drops or well, I'm not going to compare it to the Water Blend foundation from Makeup Forever because it's a completely different foundation. My Makeup Forever stick or the Tarte stick foundation. I don't think it's any more beautiful than those. I mean, I can see the appeal here. It's absolutely stunning on the skin. It really is. But in all honesty, the mess so far, I mean, it's all over my hand. It's on like my little, I have a little thing of drawers over here. It's on there. I have another camera tripod. It's on that. I like, it's on everything. It kind of looks like it's settling a little bit into these two lines here, but I don't think it's over exaggerating it. Okay, like I said, I think this is absolutely stunning. I think this foundation is beautiful, but it's settling a little bit over here for me, which is odd. It's settling right here. Foundations never settle there. Like there's nothing to settle into, so I'm not sure what that's doing over there. I don't know why it's doing that. It's settling a little bit into my smile lines. Yes, it's stunning. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, I look airbrushed and it looks, I have full coverage, but it doesn't even look like I have foundation on. But I don't think it's worth $62. I just don't. That's my impression right off the bat. I'm just gonna say that I'm not like blown away by it, only because, like I said, my Lancome foundation looks about like this, or maybe even a little bit better. And I have some drugstore foundations that are on par with this, I would say. This is probably edges them out a little bit, but not by enough for me to justify the price tag. So that's how I feel about this as a first impression. Doesn't mean that it's not a gorgeous foundation. It absolutely is. I mean, I don't have the concealer on yet, but it is absolutely stunning. It really is. I just think you can find something cheaper that does the same thing, mostly, for the most part. Now we're gonna move on to the concealer. So let's get right into that. Okay, so we're gonna be using, I figured Dior, let's use a Dior concealer, and this is brand new. This is $34 for a concealer. You heard that right. It's the Diorskin Forever Undercover Concealer, and mine is in the shade. It doesn't tell me. Give me a second. Yeah, it doesn't say it on here. It does not say what color it is on here. Let's not worry about that right now. I do have the information pulled up on it. So what it does, create full camouflage coverage in one stroke with Diorskin Forever Undercover Concealer. The hydrating liquid formula stays comfortable and will not crease, crack, or settle into lines, providing full coverage with a fresh matte finish. This concealer covers completely thanks to extreme density pigments, which offer 33% more pigment than the Diorskin Forever Fluid Foundation. I've never used that. This high density creates extreme camouflage with just one coat. This hydrating formula is key to lasting wear. It features multiple full coverage shades for one coat camouflage and crease proof concealing. It's designed with a cushiony doe foot applicator for easy, precise, and foolproof application. Now, you know what I'm going to compare this to, right? You know I'm going to compare this to my Bare Minerals Serum Concealer and my Tarte Shape Tape, because those two, and my Nars, the one that's in the pot. It's the Nars Soft Matte Concealer, I think. Those are like my absolute favorites, and they always get the job done, always, for a lot less money than $34. Well, not the Nars one. That one's like 30, so it's only a few dollars cheaper, but Nars it's Nars. So we're gonna go right in with this. I've got my damp sponge here that I used for the foundation. I'm gonna try to juggle a mirror, a sponge, and a concealer in one hand. So your typical doe foot applicator, it's nothing special. It's, you know, it's what it is. I'm gonna go kind of light-handed with this because I'm not sure how much coverage I'm gonna get, and I don't wanna go in with too much. So I'm just gonna go in and blend that and see how we do. Okay, well, it blends really, really easily. Blends nicely. Do you see this? One coat coverage? No, absolutely not. I can still see all of my dark circles under here. This is not Tarte Shape Tape. I can tell right now I don't like this. I have hereditary, I've said it before, I have hereditary dark circles under my eyes. I do whatever I can to decrease those, but for all intents and purposes, it's not about, you know, oh, I need to get a good night's sleep or anything like that. It's just, they're always there. They've been there my entire life. So I just kind of have to deal with them. Going in with the second coat, I'm getting a little bit of better coverage, but you can still see my dark circles. I'm not going to put multiple coats on because I don't want heaviness under my eye, because it's just going to make it look dry and cakey, and it's just going to get stupid looking. So I'm just going to go with the two coats. I don't think this is worth $34. I really don't. I don't care if it lasts the whole day. I don't care if it doesn't crack or crease on me, because I have plenty of other concealers that do a better job of concealing and don't do any of those negative things. So I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think this is worth $34. Save your money, go to Tarte, buy Shape Tape, and, you know, be done with it. You know, you would have to use very little product for that, and you get so much bang for your buck as far as coverage goes. I mean, that's why everybody talks about it, everybody uses it, because it's fantastic. This is not a bad concealer. It's not. If you don't have dark circles the way that I do, you'll probably be fine with this. But again, if you don't have dark circles the way that I do, you don't need to be spending $34 to get coverage under your eyes. It's just not necessary, especially if you're like me and you don't have all the money in the world to be spending on concealers. It's pretty. It's not cakey. It's not settling into any lines or anything like that. It's just I'm not getting the coverage that I want. Blends very, very easily. The color on me is really good. It's nice and brightening. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. You can layer it up a little bit, which is exactly what I did because I needed a little bit more coverage. So it's a nice concealer. Overall, it's a nice concealer, but I don't think that you need to spend $34 on a Dior concealer. I'm actually going to the mall after this with my fiance, and this is going to go back to Sephora because I need that $34 back. This is not worth it. Not worth it. To be honest, I'm probably going to be returning this foundation as well, just because I already have foundations that I think look this good on my skin, and I don't need another one for $62. The reason why I picked it up is I really wanted to show you guys like what it looks like, and you can compare for yourself. Looking at my skin, you know, is there something that you have that's comparable to this already? Is it really that necessary? There's so many different foundations out there that will give you this kind of look. Really, I think the selling point to the foundation is the fact that it's not the fact that it's in an aerosol can. I'm sorry, I think that's part of like the selling point, but it's a selling point. That's basically what it is. I don't think that's the big thing about this foundation. I think the real main selling point to this is the fact that you get plenty of coverage without using a ton of product, and it's very natural looking. It feels very lightweight on the skin. I can barely feel that I have anything on my skin. It doesn't feel like I have foundation on, and you get that skin-like finish, that satin, beautiful, velvety finish, so it kind of just looks like your own skin. But there are plenty of other foundations that will do that for you at a lower price tag. Even if it's only a $10 difference or an $8 difference, it's still cheaper than spending the $62 plus tax. And I honestly feel like, because I know that there are foundations out there that will give you a similar look, I feel like having it in an aerosol can is a bit of a gimmick, because let's be honest, who wants to deal with, you know, like having to be careful where you spray it, how you spray it? It's just a bit of a hassle, especially if you're like getting ready in the morning and you're going to work. You don't want to be messing with this. You want to just be able to kind of just put everything on quickly. So that's my kind of 2 cents for right now. I'm going to wear this the whole day. I'll check in halfway through the day with you guys, and then I'll check in at the very end of the day and let you know my final thoughts on these 2 products as a whole and all that good stuff. So let me just really quickly kind of go and do the rest of my face, and then I'll come back and we'll go from there. Okay guys, I'm back. So I did the rest of my makeup, my brows, my eyes, blush, bronzer, highlight, lipstick, all the good stuff, and I have set my face down. And to really give this foundation a chance to work well, I used what I normally use, which is the Urban Decay All Nighter. I have plenty of other setting sprays that I use, but when I really want to make sure that my makeup isn't going to budge, that's what I put on. So I've got that all on my face. We're looking pretty good here. I mean, everything went on fine. All my powders blended the way they normally do. I didn't have any problems with anything, you know, grabbing in weird areas. I did set my face down with my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish powder and under my eyes. I can actually tell you, I am noticing some creasing under the eyes, and I'm using the same products I would always use to set, and I'm finding it to be more of a problem with this concealer, this Dior concealer. So already just not a fan. But like I said, everything else looks fantastic. So I am gonna go about the rest of my day now. I have to go to the mall, I've gotta do grocery shopping, I have to start laundry at some point, so I'm gonna be kind of running around all day, which is good because that'll give me a chance to kind of see how this goes. Because I already know that I have other foundations I like better, I am going to go return this foundation today because Mama needs her money back. $62 plus $34, that's a good chunk of change. And Mama needs that money back on her credit card. So I am gonna go do that. today. So I will let you know. I'll probably check in halfway through the day. It is almost 1 o'clock now. Maybe in a few hours I will check in with you guys, and then at the very end of the day I'm gonna try to leave this on like all day, like until right before I go to bed, and then I will check in with you and let you know how I feel about it, and we'll go from there. So I will see you guys in a little while. Bye. Hey guys, okay, so it is now the end of the day. It's 7:31. I've had this foundation, this Dior Airflash foundation on the hair for, well, it's been on since a little bit before 1 o'clock. So it's been on for about 6.5 hours, give or take. And here are my last thoughts on the Dior Airflash foundation as well as the Dior concealer. It's completely broken up on my chin, completely broken up. It's completely broken up off of my nose, and around down here, it's completely gone from my upper lip. I'm missing some of the foundation down here, as well as on the same side over here. Now, it's been up to almost 90 degrees outside, and I did do some running around. I did sweat a little bit. I didn't sweat as profusely as I normally do because I wasn't out in the heat very much. I literally went to the mall, I went to Sephora, walked around the mall for a little while, then I went grocery shopping. Not that you need to know everything that I was doing, but I was out and about, you know, kind of just running errands and doing things for my normal day-to-day life. And this did not hold up. It just didn't hold up. I used the primer I always use with every one of my foundations, which, as I mentioned before, was the Dr. Brandt Luminizing Pore Minimizing Primer. And I used Urban Decay All-Nighter Spray. So if anything was gonna lock that in, that was gonna do it. And it didn't stay on me at all. It just broke up in the areas where, when a foundation does tend to break up on me, it broke up in those areas. And typically when foundations break up on me in those areas, the way that this drastically has, I pass on them. I either return them, or if I can't return them, I just kind of toss them because they're just not good. It's beautiful when you first put it on, but I think honestly, you don't need to spend $62 on a foundation to have it look amazing on your skin. There's plenty of drugstore options that will look amazing. There's plenty of mid-range foundations that will look amazing and that won't do this. The kind of skin that I have is combination oily. My skin is completely normal here, completely normal. It's not dry, it's not oily, it's just normal. And I have an oily T-zone. I say oily with air quotes because I know there's a lot of people that will say, oh, I have an oily T-zone and it's like an oil slick. Mine is not like that. Yes, I get oilier in my T-zone than I do on the rest of my face, but I'm not the type of person that goes for like super mattifying foundations and mattifying primers just to deal with that, because usually, as long as I find, you know, the right products to work with, it's not really an issue. I don't really have a big problem with it being excessively oily. Yes, it's oilier than the rest of my skin, but it's not what I would consider to be excessively oily to the point where I have to really be concerned about it throughout the day. So the fact that this completely broke up on me in those areas is weird, is just not, it's not worth it for me. And the concealer, I'm not impressed with it at all. I mean, it actually, again, this is my phone. I do have a new camera, but I have to figure out how to set that up before I start filming on that. So I'm sorry if you can't really see here, but it did kind of crease on me right in here, and it creased on me right in here, and it didn't give me the coverage that I wanted. I get better coverage from my Nars concealer, my Bare Minerals concealer, my Tarte Shape Tape. I just, you know, if you've got the money to spend and you want a fancy schmancy, you know, expensive, there's a hair on my lip, foundation, then go ahead and buy it. I got compliment when I went into Sephora and she saw that I was returning this foundation. She's like, well, your skin looks amazing. And I said, yeah, but I don't like it better than my Lancome. I don't like it better than my Wet n Wild photo, I think it's Photo Focus or Photo Finish, whatever it is. You know, I don't like it better than my Makeup Forever stick. I don't like it better than any of those, and those are all cheaper. So, as I said, final thoughts on this for me anyway, as far as my own opinion goes, I don't think it's worth the $62. I definitely don't think that the concealer is worth $34. I'm sorry. If you want to spend over $30 on a concealer, pick up a Nars concealer. You'll get better coverage and it'll look a lot better than this one did. And it'll perform much better for you. I don't really understand now that I've tried it. I'm not really sure what the hype is on this. I mean, obviously it probably works better on other people's skin than it did for me, and that's fine. But I'm still kind of confused by the hype because it's not just one person. It's like almost the entire beauty community, generally speaking. You may have a couple people that I've heard of, maybe one or two people say, oh, it didn't work for me and I don't like it. But those were like very odd to even find those videos. Like everybody else just, you know, praises Jesus for this foundation, and I just didn't work for me. I don't think it's worth it, and I think you should save your money for something else. You know, save your money for the new Sephora Pro palettes that just came out. They're $68. Buy one of those. They're more worth it. I have one. They're great. Just pick one of those up or something. I don't know. So that's it for this video. If you really enjoyed this, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me and watching another one of my videos. And if you're brand new, please click that subscribe button on your way out and give me some feedback. You know, what else would you guys like me to test out for you? Are there any other kind of high-end products that maybe you're kind of questioning and you'd like to see a review on it? Leave me comments down below, any ideas that you guys have on videos that you'd like me to do. And I'm more than willing to, you know, go out there and pick up the products and try them out for you and give you my feedback. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.